Welcome back to Weather Underground. You're taking a look at Chicago right now. You see storms that have rumbled on through. We've had 200 flights canceled at O'Hare International Airport and lengthy delays right now that are over an hour. You can see the storms that have come through town. And new information that's just come into the Weather Channel. A 34-year-old woman was struck by lightning in suburban Bolingbrook. She's actually unresponsive when fire crews arrived. They performed CPR. She has been transported to the hospital, is listed in serious condition right now, but that's the threat that you're going to see with a lot of these storms. Is definitely going to be lightning. It's that one you just certainly, without any hesitation, you cannot predict lightning.
No,
where it's going to strike.
Right. You know, we kind of have an idea where we're going to get the hail, where we could see the strong winds,
right,
or that threat for tornadoes. But yeah, lightning is something you just cannot pinpoint. Also, seeing problems at the airports along the Mid-Atlantic today. We've seen problems from New York all the way down to D.C. and a severe thunderstorm watch from portions of Delaware and Jersey over into Maryland, the D.C. area, also Virginia and West Virginia.
So definitely some problems here when it comes to the atmosphere. It's definitely ripe for storms right now. Primarily a wind threat here across the Mid-Atlantic, but look at all the numerous severe thunderstorm warnings that we have this evening, including in and around the D.C. area. Pretty strong storm south, a pretty strong storm just off to the east.
Yeah, we'll take you down to the Fredericksburg area. Notice Spotsylvania and Stafford counties under a severe thunderstorm warning until 6:30. D.C. itself, actually, or parts of it, the northwest corner, under a flash flood watch, or warning rather. So that would encompass the northwest corner of the District of Columbia, as well as Montgomery County, Maryland. So up towards Rockville, it's going to be a tough go for your late day commute.
We've had some really serious storms here that have put down a lot of rain, so flooding becomes a big issue for a lot of locations. Then you work your way out through Chesapeake Bay. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings here, including a storm very near Easton right now. Caroline, Queen Anne's, and Talbot County all under severe thunderstorm warnings. That goes until the top of the hour at 7 o'clock.
All right, so you mentioned one of our biggest threats today, in addition to the heavy rain, is wind. But people at home are going, why? Well, Carl's here to talk about the why we're watching for the wind as the main threat today, as opposed to, say, hail or tornadoes.
Well, you know, actually we've been concerned about a lot of different modes, but certainly you've got very strong winds in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, and that's coming over top of areas where you've got instability. And so as you've got these very strong winds moving in over top of a very warm ground and a warm atmosphere, you get thunderstorms punching up into the atmosphere, and they're taking advantage of those winds, and their updrafts start to lean over a little bit, and so they last a little longer and grow a little stronger, and they can also tap into those stronger winds and bring that momentum down to the ground. So that is a big part of why we can see these strong winds, and we've seen that already in some cases. Really interesting today looking at the visible satellite picture, because we had a lot of instability here, especially in southern parts of Virginia. Strongest mid-level winds coming across the northernmost part of that instability. You can really see that in the cloud pattern right in there. And it's where you see those stronger upper-level winds getting together with the greatest instability, where you have the maximum potential for severe weather. When we get down even a little bit closer, you notice that there's some shear here. You see the winds coming out of the south-southwest right in there, and then you see the winds coming out of the west right across there. So you've got directional shear, and when that happens, that can lead to rotating storms. But the low-level winds have not been really strong, so we've been seeing rotating storms that are just not quite strong enough to produce tornadoes. And as this cluster of storms has gotten going here, it's now moving away from the area of greatest instability. So I think we're going to continue to see a damaging wind threat with those stronger winds aloft, and we're going to see very heavy rain as well. That's also been a huge threat, but I think the threat is certainly going to be coming down here over the next few hours. Mike, back to you.
All right, Carl, thank you.
All right, well, coming up on Weather Underground, more on tonight's severe weather threat, and also who's at risk for dangerous flash flooding in the east right now.
Plus, the latest on the all-of-a-sudden active Atlantic, tracking two disturbances right now. Our hurricane specialist Michael Lowry breaks down the potential scenarios for development coming up next.